What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, as you guys can see on the thumbnail, take your lives seriously, enjoy your lives, and don't take not one day for granted. You don't know how things are gonna happen in life. We're all here, and then one day we won't be. Man, my mom is gone, and it's been a while. Like, not a long time. This is the last memorial was a Labor Day. My mom was gone, but it was like the way she went to the hospital. It was a very hot day. And people thought it was just, probably just the heat and stuff. She probably just passed out from the heat. Not knowing at that moment, that was it. And we was never going to see my mom as herself again. That she would be, that was it. She went in the hospital. And, when I heard she had permanent brain damage, I knew she's gone. It was too much, and looking at her, I knew, man, she wasn't gonna make it, it's tough, man, it's tough, but I understand that death is a part of life, and none of us are gonna be here. So yesterday was March 21st, and George Foreman, he passed away, man. Condolences to his family. George, two-time world champion, gold medalist. He had a great career, man, and for him to, they have him, well, from 1967 to 97, we know he had a 10-year retirement from boxing in between that time, but, George Foreman was it was like a wrecking ball, man. He came in there and he didn't come to outbox you. George came to knock you out. He came to hurt you. He came to inflict pain on you. George is one of those guys that I feel like from the outside looking in, a lot of people, with George, you got to do this, you got to do that. Till they got in there with him, and it's like, yeah, it was different. George was that guy, man. But that's the thing about life. I remember last year I saw a video of George Foreman hitting the heavy bag, and he was saying, I'm thinking about making a comeback. And I remember I said, yeah, don't let, I said, don't, I said to myself, don't let Jake Paul see you hitting that bag, because he's not going to want to fight you. You're going to have to be about 80 for him to fight you, But, yeah, George Foreman. The funny thing, and I'm not shocked that it happened. I'm not one of those people when I hear somebody that, oh my God, for real, like, man, it's gonna happen. Now, to me, I take every day where I don't live my life in fear at all. Things are gonna happen. I take every day with the mindset of just, I'm here another day, but I don't, it's just another day that goes by that you're here, and people take things differently in life depending on how you're doing in life, Now, yesterday, I said, man, it was my birthday. George Foreman died on my birthday. I know people personally that died on their birthday. And, it's like, wow. Spent the time with my family, man, and relaxed and everything, just, But that's the thing that happens in life, man, is, you're here, then you're not here. And, like, for George Foreman, man, I was, the funny thing is, like, when you look at certain things and you think about how things happen, And I remember watching like George, and you have categories of people like George Foreman. Like people will compare Mike Tyson to like Joe Frazier. They'll compare George Foreman to like Sonny Liston. And some people have a certain aura, a certain style. Like this generation is. Some people was saying Joe Joyce is like this generation's George Foreman. They're very different from each other when you watch them fight. As much as people think they're alike, they're really not. Some certain similarities. You couldn't hit George as easy as you could hit Joe Joyce, and Joyce didn't have that kind of power like that. Like George at all. Joyce, his style was constant pressure, taking punches, just to give you punches and he'd wear you out. George just came to punish you, but George was one of those guys. When you look at his style, you look at, the way he would break people down, you don't really see people fighting like that, man. He was definitely one of those guys, man, that fights were exciting. When he got in the ring, it was more of a let's see how long this guy's gonna last type of feeling, But hey, man, none of us are gonna live forever, man. One day I won't be here. It's the same thing. Everybody, when people find out the news, they start acting so shocked and surprised. But hey, you know what? If George was here and somebody asked him, what would you give, to people as a message in life? I don't know what George would say, but, I could see him saying something about, hey, enjoying your life and, living your life and not, walking around with stress on you and anger and because that's what a lot of people do, especially now in this time where you see what's going on with a lot of things going on in the world, period. Well, right here in America, like one of the biggest things that on a day-to-day, ever since this guy got in office, he's just been wreaking havoc. And I'm not focused on him. But you see things that make you really, like, people take things for granted. Even just for example, like you go to certain stores and you go, oh yeah, man, I shop at such and such because their prices are the best. And then all of a sudden, where you can go get a 99-cent fucking juice, like those Tropicanas and all that. Remember, they used to be 99-cent. Motherfuckers are like $3 now. You'll get a fucking 6-pack of fucking beef franks. Used to be $1.69. It's $6 now. Everything is like, and when you look and go, damn, the things that you need is what's super high. The things that you need. So yeah, people are really angry. I mean, I was watching something. It was some type of little, not really a documentary, but somewhat like it was some type of like video where a guy was talking. It was like a news clip, but it wasn't the news. But the guy was talking and was saying this right now in 2025. There's states that pay $7 an hour. $7 an hour. Who can live off of $7 an hour? Who? So there's people that got it bad, man. And I said, how is that even possible when you got people trying to make $15 an hour minimum wage? And people are living off, so you got places where people are getting paid $7 an hour. Stuff like that. There's always somebody that have a worse situation than the next person. But hey, this is where, like, everybody's not going to have the same outcome. Everybody's not going to go to college. everybody's not going to be successful just because they go to college. You got people that won't go to college but will be in a position to make more money, and of course it'll, more than likely they'll be either become entrepreneurs, or they'll be, be some type of entertainer, or go to sports or something or whatever. But you have to take control of your life, and you have to make the most of it. That's just the way it is, man. But yeah, man, it was funny watching. I was watching George Foreman when they were showing those old commercials when he first had the Foreman grill, and I'm sitting here like, man, it was funny, just the thought. When he made his comeback, the night George Foreman made his comeback, I forgot who he fought, but I didn't even hear the announcement. I just turned to the channel and boxing was on, and I remember they were like, coming up, George Foreman makes it. I'm like, oh shit. Like, hey, yo, where you at? Oh, I'm at such and such. Hey, listen, George Foreman about to fight. George Foreman? Yeah, he making the comeback. You home right now? Yeah, I'm about to come over there, man. Yeah, come on. I remember that. Came over, watched the fight with me, man. We sat there. I'm like, damn. And who thought, like, how things worked out is how it worked out. And before you know it, it's like, I think he was 36, 37 when he first, 35, something like that when he first came back. And then all of a sudden, George Foreman, it's like, it seemed like it was over before it started. Like, it just was like, boom, like, damn. He came back, and now he's around here, and he fought Holyfield. Remember him fighting Michael Moorer, knocked him out. That's how he became a two-time world champion, of course. And then the Foreman grill. And all these commercials and all that, and like George Foreman end up doing all these things at a later age, like it was just like, wow, and it's like all these commercials you see, and he's always smiling and shit, or having a hamburger in his hand or something. It was just like, like, wow, you never know what's gonna happen. If you know his life, if you saw the movie, or if you ever heard him tell his story, like, what he went through, like, the things how he saw things in his mind. But George Foreman, yeah, man, he was, he contributed to boxing in a way where that knockout was, a lot of people wanted to see those knockout artists, but a lot of people back then also respected the sweet science. And Foreman, man, I just remember, like, it's funny. I remember we were using him on Fight Night Champions, right? And I said, like, one of my sons, it was funny because he said, man, George Foreman is like in real life how he is on the game. He's not that fast, but if he hits you, and because my sons, they watch old stuff, like they'll sit back and look at, I said, yeah. And don't get me wrong, when Foreman threw punches with some speed, when he had you pinned against those ropes and he would wing them body shots at you. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's what he does, man. Like when he hits you, the effects, it was just funny because we could be fighting on, like, whether you fighting online or the computer or each other or something, and he land on them clubbing ass blows. It's like night. But that was George Foreman, man. Power punching. And George was he knew what he was doing in there, man. He's just one of those guys, like, his style worked for him. Like Joe Joyce style worked for him. He was just one of those guys where to try to imitate their styles, like, I haven't seen a fighter that I feel like he fight just like George Foreman. You know what I mean? But for better or worse, his style was his style. Like he didn't remind me of Mike Tyson. He didn't remind me of Sonny Liston, but that's the comparisons, the brutality, the seriousness and all. But yeah, he had his own style, man. But hey, like I said, my condolences to his family. And that's that, man. I celebrated my birthday yesterday, and he, is no longer here on this earth with us. that's just life, right? That's just the way it goes. That's what it is. In closing, I'll reiterate, man, enjoy your lives. Enjoy your lives, man. Don't take things for granted. You're not gonna be here always. You got your mama still here. You got your father still here. The brothers, whoever's alive, people that you love and care for, let them know, man. Spend that time with them. Relax. Just, don't let the pressures of the world beat you down and have you to the point where you're not communicating with each other, because family will do that to you. Family will, family will be, it'll be a situation with your family where the only time you see your family, or the majority of your family, is at the next funeral. But while you guys are still here alive, it's like they're not here. But if you're one of the people that's just like, it ain't nothing personal, I just, I don't know why I don't keep in touch. Don't wait until somebody passes away and then it just starts to kick in. I'm never going to see this person again. Damn. We should have spent more time. That's what happens all the time. And then people start going through all of this crying and feeling guilty. But hey, man, when it's over, it's over. So don't take your life for granted, man. The fact that you can do this, don't take that for granted. The fact that you can do this, don't take that for granted. I know people personally can't wipe their own ass, can't brush their own teeth, can't do nothing. And every time they look and see us walking around and moving around and doing all the things that they used to be able to do, and that sad reality of them knowing I'm alive, but I feel dead because I can't do nothing for myself. All I can do is watch TV, listen to the radio, listen to people talk, watch people. I can't do nothing. Nothing. So I don't know the information on George, if it was just natural causes. I don't know if, anything about that. I didn't really dig in to find out what it was about. But, yeah, it's just the way it goes. I remember when Michael Jackson passed, how I was like, damn, whoever thought Mike would be dead at 50? Damn, anybody, Prince, all these guys, man, all these people. Now, of course, George was 76. But you just never know, man. You don't know when your time is going to come. I don't fear that shit. When it happens, it happens. It's inevitable. You can't escape it. And let's look at it like this. We all have an invisible expiration date. Every day that we're alive, okay, is a day closer to death. This is reality. So, for me to sit here and fear or worry about it, I hear people talking all the time, I don't want to die, man, I'm scared. So the afterlife sounds like a great idea to them, that once you die, you live on. Then you got the other people that, energy can only be transferred, energy can't die, and all this stuff. It's like, whatever, man. Whatever. These are things you're making assertions about that you can't prove. Energy just transfers, it never dies. And right, okay, whatever. I'll just enjoy my time on this earth. When I'm gone, then I'm gone. And whatever happens after that, whatever is what happens. But, yeah. So, I'm still here to celebrate another birthday. Healthy as a fucking horse, so to speak. Strong as an ox, so to speak. Still sharp. Still can do every fucking thing that I've always done. And I have I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm solid. I'm good. Still lightning fat, everything. Still everything, man. So when I hear people complaining about life and always worrying about people. That's why when I hear these rich ass fucking folks sitting up, jumping on podcasts and jumping on interviews, arguing with a bunch of fucking lame, simple-minded ass people, I'm like, man, you put yourself in a position where you don't have to participate in things that you used to participate in. You're supposed to be living a better life, and instead of you focusing on those things and enjoying life, you want to try to argue points. Which is why, like I said too, I made the videos. I'm talking on my channel about different things, not just boxing, because the world needs it. It's really more of a thing of boxing has become soap opera-ish, it's become watered down, it's become unenjoyable most of the time to even talk about. And I hear people don't understand, like even like the story of this guy Big U. Now Adrian Broner's name is coming up as being attached to Big U. This guy Whack 100, his name is coming up as it being attached to Big U. Several different rappers' names is coming up as it being attached to Big U. See, when they come for people, the first name you hear is all you think about initially, just to find out they're trying to get other people that's involved and attached to you. And then you got people jumping up, making videos, this nigga's a snitch, this happened, that person, and before you know it, all these different names come up. You see what happened even with Diddy's situation. All these different names. And this dude, Busta Rhymes, talk about how him and Diddy never hung out like that. He never been to a Diddy party. You know, they wasn't really close like that, man. He just knew him from the industry. Then you got videos surfacing where, what did Diddy say? I want to give a shout out to one of my best friends in the world to this very day, Busta Rhymes. He been my best friend since I was like 12 years old. Then they show a video of Busta. Where? At a Diddy party. So now that people see that you're lying, what is he trying to hide? Why? What is he trying to protect himself from? This is what happens. And next, the investigations and all these things happen. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, another person arrested, another person found guilty of something. So when you attach yourself to people and you attach yourself to the wrong people, you attach yourself to the wrong type of situations. And one of the things about the business, this is why everything that I've ever endeavored into the entertainment business, sports, and this shit, I'm not an industry guy. I will snap and spaz the fuck out on you for real. And I'm not a talker. I'm that dude, I don't give a fuck if it's 10 of y'all and me by myself. These hands, feet, and knees and elbows start to swing, bro. I'm not like everybody else. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I don't want to end up spending the rest of my life in jail because I'm intertwined with these fucking losers. Because I'm getting myself caught up with these people that I already know what type of lifestyle they live. I don't need that in my life. This shit ain't for me, man. It's definitely not for me. So I had to start to eliminate people, and I had to pull myself away from different situations. And if you all about this money, I'm not no ritual type of guy, man. Like I said, I will break your, Damon Wilson, the guy that played Lamont Sanford on Sanford & Son, last year he did a video, man. He did an interview. And he told you, he said, all of these celebrities that you see, multi-millionaires, Learjets, and all of them, not some of them, not most of them, all of them that make it that superstar status are a part of these rituals. All of them are getting bent over, male and female. Somebody's screwing your wife. Somebody's screwing your husband. Women are wanting sexual favors from women. Men are wanting sexual favors from men. All of this stuff. I need you to do this net for me. I did this for you. You're about to make life-changing money, and I'm responsible for it. What are you going to give me? What do I get out of it? So all this type of stuff. He let the cat out the bag. He said all of them. He said this is nothing new. And it made me think about, I might have spoke about this before, it made me think about that time when Richard Pryor, I forgot who they were roasting, but when a comedian says something, people just take it as just being comedians. Comedians just doing comedic shit. And I remember Richard Pryor was like, he was with me when I fucked my first faggot, and this and that. And I'm like, whoa, Rich, the fuck, man, the fuck. So, when I heard Richard say that, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, man? Nah, like certain fucking jokes is not even funny to me. And that shit, the fuck, whoa. The fuck you mean he was with me when I fucked my first faggot? Like, what? And then I found out about Richard. Like, what the fuck? I was never into these celebrities' lives, and I'm still not. It's just things that you learn. Like, I didn't know at one point that he was married to Pam Grier at one time, and then all the things that you find out about people, you like, wow, man. I remember Jamie Foxx was doing a stand-up, and he was like talking about Prince, how he was dressed and what Prince was wearing and how he looked, and he was like, I'm not gay or nothing, I'm just saying that motherfucker was cute as fuck. I mean, I was gay for like 2 seconds, man, because I'm like, damn, I'm like, nah, all right. And you start to hear things, you start to find out things. We found out about LL Cool J with the whole fellatio thing with the fucking with the Transformer. Okay, we found out, the Eddie Murphy situation, Dr. Dre, all these motherfuckers, Busta Rhymes, Usher, all of them. This dude Orlando Brown, he told everything about all these different dudes he had sex with. Not one of them motherfuckers got on the fucking video and denied that shit. And what you heard interviewers saying was they think Orlando Brown was high. He didn't know what he was saying and all. Nah, he made it clear he knew what he was saying. He's not high. And he sat there and renamed everybody he said. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just telling you guys, man. It's like, when it comes to this industry stuff, man, this is how things go. And, with this music and all this shit. And as far as with boxing, I'm pretty sure you got people who've done some dirty shit. Like, I know some things about boxing, but most with boxing is more like a thing of, if you don't have the name, you're a high risk, low reward. People don't want to fight you because it's like, if I win, then it's like, well, who is this guy? But this dude might beat the shit out of me. And then what happens? Like, how the fuck, man, you lost to this guy? Well, then that guy, if he can sustain, becomes a superstar. Because guess what? He just whooped your ass. Now you have a rematch and he does it again. And then basically fight after fight, this guy keeps winning. It's like, okay, that wasn't no fluke win. This dude is the real deal. And you do have people like, different people try to approach you and try to threaten you, try to intimidate you. Like, all that kind of shit happens in boxing. This is my point, is that all these industries are just corrupt, man. They're very corrupt. And one of the biggest problems that this era of fighters have is they all want to be celebrities. They all want to, wherever they go, everybody know who they are. They want autographs. They want to take pictures. They want to be out in the strip club. They want to be hanging out with all the other, famous people. And that's not a fighter's focus, man. Fighters are fighters, man. But this era is different. They want to walk around with the diamond grills and all the jewelry dripping off of them, and they want to be, hanging out with all the rappers and all that. And these are the people that get in the most trouble, like that rapper Blueface. I saw a video of him yesterday where the title was something like, Blueface lets us know how he's holding up in prison. He stand up there talking, smiling, chilling, like prison is the place to be or something. I'm like, man, this is the wrong message that people are going to get. And the truth of the matter is, we get one life to live. You got to just make the most of your life, man. Things you might not have accomplished before, you can accomplish now. You can accomplish it later. Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever let people make you feel like you're beneath them, like you're not worthy, or make you feel like, you're just worthless in life. And people will do that. And in this era of time, men and women don't want to get along because they date on high value, low value bullshit. There's no love at all. I literally saw this. This is a thing now. If you guys haven't even seen it, this is sad. I've seen women. I haven't seen men do it. I've seen women actually posting videos a whole bunch of different women posting videos on TikTok saying shit like, yeah, for anybody looking for like a roommate, I live in the such and such area, this and this and that, whatever. You know, like, you might have been through some shit in life and you don't want to get married and all that or whatever, and you might be scared to like settle down again, but it's like, hey, we could get together, we could like, you know, hey, look, we got a responsibility, we pay bills together. If we like attracted to each other, you know, male or female, you can move in, we can move together, we can live together. And you know, things is high priced out here. It's expensive to live out here now. And you could come in, we could just, you know, vibe. No strings attached, but the type of thing where, guess what? You know what? With friends with benefits, they're actually promoting this shit. They don't put that type of effort into being in a relationship, a stable relationship, but this is the effort they put in to meeting a complete stranger, vibing with them, and then we can pay bills, screw, do whatever, and do all that. Like, so yeah, it's that type of time. Now, if it was done out here on the street corner, people would be like, oh, you a prostitute, oh, you out here. But because they're sitting in front of a fucking camera and posting this for millions of people to see, people don't take it that way. But it's like, damn, how desperate is that? You're inviting a complete stranger to hook up with you, move in, so y'all can pay bills together to make life easier. But here's a person in life that gave up on dating and all or whatever, so we could make this happen and this and that. And guess what? Hey, we live in the same house. We could, you know, whatever. And you never know. I mean, it might lead to something else. But hey, this and this and that. And wow. Now talk about a person saying, I'm not settling for anything in life. What do you call that if you're sitting up here screwing with someone you don't even know and trying to have a relationship with a random stranger just to make ends meet? It's crazy, but this is the world we live in. Anyway, salute to George Foreman. Salute to his family. And life goes on. And that harsh reality, death is a part of life. But it is what it is. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.